So one of the assistants in the exam hall,
yeah.
he knows what a jackass I am. So every 10 minutes he would come around the corner, he'll tell me, do these, and then he'll go away. And then he'll come back again, do this, and then he'll go away. I'm doing exactly what this old geezer is telling me. Like, proper I'm doing. After the fourth round, he went on some vada break. I was like, Macha, my future dude over here. Let's face it, nobody is dumber than a teacher's kid. The solution has to come out clear.
Yeah.
So I just simply filled it with plain water.
Everything is pointless. Mic check. This is pointless.
Welcome to Pointless Podcast, Episode 2. Episode
Episode
1 was a
2.
hit. Episode 1 was super
It was
hit.
a huge
We
hit.
got 251 views on YouTube.
We were trending for a whole week on Twitter. We even got a personal invite from Bald Rogan. We dropped it on the account of we are busy doing this. So
So this is John. I'm Anurag. We live in this absurd world, and that is why this podcast is known as Pointless Podcast. There's Shubham behind the camera, who has this goofy laughter. And what are we going to discuss today? So I heard that 12th standard board exams are starting today in Maharashtra.
that's great.
Yeah. So how was your 12th?
Kids,
How was your 12th?
future of the country. Are they really dead? Are they really the future? Then we're fucked. I saw one dummy out here in Andheri with a GoPro. I don't know what he's shooting out there around Amboli's church.
And he was walking or he was on
No,
a
he
bike?
was on a bicycle. I don't know what's so adventurous around the Amboli church that you have a GoPro on your head. Good
that
God,
that too on a
this is
cycle.
the future. That too on a cycle that'll probably hit speeds of 12 with with wind also pushing on his back. Maybe 13. The GoPro adventure. What's happening again? 12th.
Yeah. So basically,
Is it important at all? Just I know I'm being an ass right now, but does it count for anything?
it counts for
Did
nothing.
they cancel out 10th board yet?
No, they
Wasn't
haven't.
there like a serious this one like they'll cancel out 10th?
Yeah, there was, but how many times have we heard this thing that like just do your 10th and then your life is sorted?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
I heard that every day. The entire through it.
And
The
and
entirety of 10th.
and after my 10th, the only one time I've ever used my 10th board certificates is to make my passport, and that too for like age proof. That's all. That's all. That's ever I've ever used.
That's all it is. Like you just need it for screening process. Like really, I mean, it's like trying to rent a bike and they ask you to show your license. That's that's really it. Like you're saying you've not used your 10th. I've not even taken my certificate from college yet. It's still there at the college.
That would be 12th, not 10th, right?
No. My college certificate, I still didn't pick it up.
Oh, so you haven't picked up your degree?
Yet
college
my degree. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're saying is 10th important. I'm saying I haven't picked up my college degree yet, bugger. I don't know when the hell I'm going to use that for these kids. And are they still stressed out? Are these kids okay now?
Matcha,
Have they finally figured YouTube is the future and YouTube doesn't ask for stupid ass 12th your 12th certificate? Hopefully YouTube doesn't ask. What if they plug that in? No. When they're trying to register their new account.
People will
Did you
actually
clear
start
12th?
studying. People will
And
actually
these
start studying.
motivational nonsense, there'll be something circulating. I hope it's like an industry plant or something. These news they forward, no? This guy sells fried peanuts whilst also studying for IAS. Have you seen those? Have you seen those types of stuff? Yeah. This guy pulls, on that one-wheeler thingy, he pulls 80 kgs a day, but he wants to be a commissioner. Like, okay.
You've seen that news. Like a rickshaw puller's son became the
That's
IAS officer.
It's
And-
become so big. I think recently one of this one's ad was that, wasn't it? Wasn't one of Cortex or somebody's, wasn't that the ad that the rig guy pulls? Banker. Yeah. And his daughter
Really?
is the banker. Yeah.
Holy.
And this jackass, she still won't quit using her dad's rig, by the way. Just because the dad's the rig guy. This jackass is probably waking up anytime she wants, thinking, I'll get a rig. Oh, my dad's the rig guy. The poor guy would have thought, I can finally retire. Stop this bullshit. My daughter is a banker now. She's the one calling him. Hey, please, I'm drunk. 11:30, I'm drunk. I can't find a rig. Please come pick me. We need to drop two of my friends also. They're also drunk. And they live in the other corner of where we live. You have to drive all the way on the other side.
And it's his own daughter. He can't
It's his
even
own
turn on
daughter,
the
yeah.
meter.
Oh God.
Okay, coming back to 12th standard and how important it is. So yeah, so like I personally think like 12th standard marks are important to get into a certain college, and once you've got into a college, then like it's pretty much useless, right?
I don't know what you do with that. See, because it's exactly like what you said.
Yeah.
Anything that you're trying to go next, they say this is the foundation, sort of. Right? I mean, f- they'll say 10th is the foundation, then
Yeah.
11th you'll go. They'll say 11th is the foundation for 12th. Or
Yeah.
12th you'll go. They say this is the foundation for college. Arey, macha, end this shit, dude. The this board thing also is like, even with the, what is that, what do they have difference in the thing, there's the matriculation, then there's the whatever the thing, there's like got levels in that also, like it's some Takeshi's castle or something. Who cares which stupid board you're in? That also is a big hype, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, when I was trying to look for jobs, I saw these job opportunities where they would actually ask, "What was your marks in 10th? What was your marks in 12th?"
Oh really?
The moment I would see that, I would be like, I'm not sharing my marks, and I don't want this job.
It used to be a big screeny thing when all these IT guys used to go on these recruitment drives and all of that. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
They go around these drives because that's the easiest slab you can screen people. No, it's like
yeah.
65% and more can only apply at TCS. Meanwhile, I'll be there with like 12.5%. Like, please let me, just give me a chance. I can be the next CEO.
Have you seen Narendra Modi? He does Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi. He does uh, exam pe charcha. You know, he has this series which is called like Man Ki Baat, and then discussion on this. So every year before the board
No,
exam,
what is that? What is it?
so what he'll do is he'll organize an event.
Okay.
There will be students from all over India, selected students from like DAV and DPS, Delhi Public School, and DAV, and all the CBSE board schools. And a few of them would get a chance to ask question, and the PM would share motivational things.
They
And
should
in
give the
that,
option to ask the questions while they are in the exam room. Call somebody up like, please, can I make one call? I just need this 20 mark answer. What's the point of going around asking a question then? Plus, this motivation thing reminds me. You know what? We used to have two things before the season would start. Like before the exam season would start, there used to be this huge Christian students one drive. There was this one local guy who used to do it. Dude, like some 10,000 kids would flock up for this nonsense, dude. And you know what was the big like push in that? He had his own stupid college over there. Okay,
so
like
he would
which
try
was
to
heavily
get.
funded. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the whole funnel.
yeah,
Which firstly was heavily funded because all these idiots were giving him money anyways.
yeah,
He used all that and built it.
yeah,
But even to get in, I heard you have to throw in like a sack of money.
yeah, yeah.
Like
And they
this
call it
whole
donations.
donation.
Yeah.
The craziest thing was he would get his own students on the stage and they'll be like, I used to get 5 marks, but now I'm placed at Wipro. And then all these Kids will go nuts. They'll scream, they'll cry.
Yeah.
Oh, if he can do it, I can. I'm like, no, we can't. Macha, we can't. Let's not go to Wipro.
But in the south of India, is there still that craze for these IT companies, for Wipro?
I
and
hope so. Somebody has to employ these idiots. No. I mean, what are we all going to do? Are we all going to get on YouTube? Are we all going to start our own thing on the side? Are we all going to sell bath waters and fart in a cup and fart in a tiffin box and all? And do something. And they'll be like, even in that initial thing, no, like I used to remember these complaints these buggers used to have when they got in all these TCS, Wipro, and all. They're like, Macha, they have not put me in a project here. I'm still on the bench or something. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you have
T-
to. You have
TCS has the highest benched employees in India, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have any ideas or something that you want to quickly get started on? Just shut up and sit at the bench. Dummy.
So, if for people who don't know what benching is, basically these IT companies, when they do not have a project for you, they would just bench you. So basically, you're just sitting, not doing anything, and you get your salary.
But that's a great option.
That's a great
no?
option. Yeah.
What are these people? They are so enthused about going out there and killing it and proving themselves or something. There's nothing to prove.
And trust me, it's all pretentious because it's not like they are super talented or something. If they would have been, they would not have
No,
joined.
all these people are freshers.
Yeah, exactly.
What talent are you talking about? They don't even know what role they got picked up in.
And-
They all went in together as a group only, and they just went through the other door where they said, just like Takeshi's castle. They say, "Kamade boss," they'll go, and then they all run.
3.5 LPA.
That's my problem with this Takeshi castle. At the almost till the final round, no, there'll literally be 2,000 people. Did you realize that?
Yeah.
There'll literally be some 3,000 people.
And in the final round,
If I was part of that crew that's doing the helping thing, no, I would just kill people. You don't need to go to the next round because there'll be one fatty trying to jump the thing. Have you seen those? It's very powerful, dude. These guys, and they'll hit them in the sack with that cannon thing. Horrible these people are.
and I'm sure they're paid to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's an amusement park, Takeshi's castle,
And
right?
they would have probably signed some NDA, no, at the beginning. No matter how much you abuse us, you will try and laugh, I guess. Because they'll literally be grabbing them with their tits and all that shit. But these people are, Kamade boss, yeah.
But Takeshi's castle was more funny because of Javed Jaffri's
I
commentary.
guess, yeah.
You
He didn't care about the show at all. He used to do his own thing. He never talked about the show, I guess. No?
never.
Yeah.
He would just play these characters and
Yeah,
like
he
say
just do his own thing on the side. That's nice.
that's why it was funny. But coming back to like 12th standard, did it ever happen in your school like there will be like a pre-board and then board, right?
Are you
So-
nuts? Did I ever a pre-board and board? Before the board, we had 6 rounds of mock-up boards.
Oh my god.
I used to show up not knowing what the exam was that day because I am so used to just waking up, exam, exam. Because we used to have 2 exams a day. One in the morning, lunch, and then this one.
In the mock exam.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We had 6 rounds of mocks, dude, if I'm not mistaken. 6 rounds of mocks, like literally 2 months, one straight one, like one marathon nonsense we did to ramp up to the thing.
Oh my god.
Like, as is, I had like very little seriousness towards the board thing. After doing this 6 rounds of this one, now I'm like, just end it. Just please surprise me in the middle saying the 3rd round is the actual board or something like that. Like, make a twist or something. It was insane, dude. And this church thing we would do is, I was telling you, like that every they'll bring in all these 12th graders. Oh, they'll
Yeah.
hype them up. They'll hype them up so much. They'll use the same thing what they do for the weekly, the
Yeah.
Bible and all that. This time the emotional attack will be even if you're if you're the old person at church, it will be even if you're a drunkard, you failed or whatever, you can still you get a chance in life. Here it will be even if you gotten 5 marks or 10 marks, you still have a chance. You can make up for it in the board. Just try your best. Whatever. And then this, dude, 6 rounds of pre-board.
Yeah.
And I used to suck so bad. I genuinely remember this. I had business math on paper. My teacher, like literally 1 week before the board, he came up and told me, listen, business math has had two parts, two-parter. He said, forget part two exists.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to cover everything. There's a week left. Forget part two altogether. Just somehow try and memorize part one if you can. Page one to page end, like as much as you possibly can. Because his whole thing is, out of the 200 mark, doing like a guess thing, at least 80 mark would be covered,
Yeah.
in a part one, say.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, that's all you need. He's literally telling me, forget part two and memorize like the entirety of part one. And that's pretty much all I did. Like, that's what I did to
And you
scrape
passed,
through.
right?
Yeah, I scraped through. Scrape through. I came with flying colors, dude. 80%.
So if you need to give a message to a kid who's stressed right now, what would be your
Stressed
message?
about what? The stupid exam.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's not. You're not an engineer at NASA, dude. Who cares? It's not like if you fail, the rocket is going to crash and burn a whole, burn a whole country down.
Exactly.
It's a stupid. Listen, and here's the real thing.
Hmm.
They'll pass most of these kids.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing. They make it sound like even if you write like the most perfect answer, there's some evil jackass on the other side who will purposely, strike it and give you not 100 but 99. He'll give you. No, it's like everybody. If you write for 10 marks, they'll push for 16 marks. Like that's because really nobody wants these kids to fail. Truthfully,
Yeah,
they are
exactly.
like. I'm sure most of these teachers are also like parents and stuff. Say they're hoping on some level it's like a karma thing. If I pass this kid, my kid will pass next year. Because let's face it, nobody is dumber than a teacher's kid. That's the truth. The teachers mostly scare you because they're scared for their own kids. Because they are the ones who are going to fail horribly, like miserably.
But back in my school, you know what teachers used to do? I mean, it's weird. It almost seems like teachers in small town get some kind of pleasure in, like, making you sad, or like,
No,
like
really, there's some
just
sadistic thing
some
in that.
torturing you out
100%,
to
100%.
your core.
Yeah.
Like these teachers. So in my 12th standard, our school was known to produce a lot of IITians. And you know what these IITians would do? In 11th and 12th, for whole 2 years, they would never come to school. They would only prepare for IITs.
What are you saying?
Yeah. And in the end, when they crack IIT, school will publish an ad in the newspaper of that city saying, we, like, 100 students from our school cracked IIT. All those 100 students never went to the school full 2 years ever.
Wait, so
They're
how does the 11th and 12th count? Are they not even appearing for the
they're
exam?
just appearing for the exam, just the board exam, just the like weekly exam, or like
Oh, okay.
they're not coming to school at all, just appearing for the exam.
We had a similar nonsense with the CA idiots in this one.
Yeah. So that used to happen in my school, like, and then just before the board, people who have less attendance under 70%, teachers would like make them run to school every day. Like they would have their board admit cards in their hands, but they would not just pass it on.
Oh yeah,
They would
that
be
was
like,
the
your
worst.
attendance
Like
was
they'll
down.
hold your
Yeah.
card. This is the worst thing. Right before every exam, we would have an assembly, like how we would generally have an assembly, on your regular school day.
Yeah.
And then the principal would use this chance to just go off on one motivational nonsense for 20 minutes. Listening to his nonsense, I would have forgotten half the thing I memorized. I only came rushing because whatever I had left in my head that I had
Yeah.
memorized, I quickly wanted to spill into a paper.
Yeah.
That's my whole approach. My approach was like around 6:30, I'll call everybody I know and be like, Macha, what do you think is the most important question? And then I'll quickly try to memorize a few pointers from that. And then I'll write some song lyrics in the middle and try and fill up the page. I am in such a rush, and I'm trying to get to the as quick as I can get to the exam halls. They'll pull me out and like sing the national anthem. Listen to this guy, national anthem. I get it. It's important. Right now, it's not important. Please, just let me. I love my country and all, but please look at me. I have a flag over there. Let me end it. Let me go finish this exam, dude. And the worst thing was they used to to avoid these bits and all this nonsense. They used to give us these. The school only used to give us the one transparent pouch, Macha. You can only use that pouch.
Wow.
If
I've
you
never
bring
heard
your
of that.
own pouch, you're probably like, they'll make you kick out or pick everything up, throw the pouch out, and then come in. That kind of nonsense. And the pouch will say, the school name, the school's tagline, and all. I was like, ayo, what?
I'm sure they were charging for it as well.
Yeah, of course. Of course they did. They'll give you the rank card, and then the rank card cover also you'll have to go
But
and
I'll
buy.
tell you what was worse than all of this shit. The worst was there will be kids around you discussing and showing off that they've studied so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there will be people who will be like, oh my, and you'll be like you'll be literally panicking for real, right?
Yeah.
Like you've not studied, you're not prepared and everything. And you'll just be sharing it. And there will be one person, for sure, this person is going to score 99 out of 100. But they'll join the trail and they'll be like, oh my God, I also haven't studied. There's
That's not even the worst thing in that situation. You know what the worst thing is?
what?
I will always think going in, I aimed for 42. After that discussion, I'll realize I'm only going to get 8. That's the problem. Because these idiots will literally calculate their marks over there. Have you seen it? Right on the question paper, they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to get 6 out of 6.
After
here.
exam,
And
after
then
exam.
4 over
Oh
here,
my God.
8 over here, then they'll tally it up. I'll be like, wait, what's the answer again? Oh, okay, then 2, I guess. I got all the headings right here, so maybe 3, that's 5. And then before I reach the end, I'm like, what the hell, 8? That's the worst.
But
Knowing immediately you're going to fail in like 2 minutes. After sweating it out there for 4 hours, trying to remember and write everything.
But all those buggers are the biggest losers today.
I mean, it was crazy, dude. 12 was like the biggest thing was they were really trying to drive the point that you should this most serious, like it's like it's like it's a huge
It's life or death.
yeah, it's
That's
like
what they make it.
such a thing. And I was such a goof in school. They had to like literally torture me to believe on some level that this is like some things here, because I wanted to quit school like 9th grade. Weird enough, because I started like watching all these western shit, cartoon, all this thing way young, like around 5th grade or whatever. Say, I barely watched any local thing.
Yeah.
So my point of reference was mostly this outside nonsense, and they just quit off school. And all
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I thought maybe I could also do that thing. I literally been asking my parents, if I could quit since like literally 9th grade, did like 8th grade if I'm not mistaken.
They didn't spank your ass.
What do you think? What do you think? I repeated my 9th. In fact, I was so bad. Because like around 7th, 8th grade, I discovered like drawing and all of that. I was like, maybe I should just chill with this, and like because I didn't get like that's the worst thing for me. I don't know, because some people say it's the teachers. If you have a great teacher, you'll be a great student. I'm like, hey, it's not Kung Fu Panda over here. What are you talking about? That's the other dumb example they give.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look how amazing this teacher makes a math class.
Yeah.
And it's just that guy's personality. He seems like a fun. Whatever he do, I'll probably chill there. But I don't know if I'll learn from the jackass. He's got props and all. He's juggling and all. All the kids are like, oh, it's the best math teacher. And then they all go fail. They are talking like. That's the other stupid thing, like they all think like if it's like a fun, like an interactive teacher who doesn't throw the duster on your face about anything you ask. That's just. Have you been beaten up by your teachers?
A lot. I have been beaten up by my teacher in a moral science class. Imagine a teacher teaching you moral science and then slapping the shit out
Slapping
of
the shit out of you. That's the best. I used to get tagged him out by my mom and the teacher, because she would come in and be like, "Why are you not beating the shit out of him if he's not studying?" And they'll be like, "Why are you not beating the shit out of him?" I'll be like, why are you guys beating? This is not a head.
I remember a similar discussion where my mom was, like she went to my tuition teacher because I didn't get good marks, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Why are you not slapping him? I pay you fees to slap him." I'm like, "What?"
I think that's. I'll tell you the more weird. So my own sister used to be a topper.
Yeah.
I was so bad at one point they made me go get her. They're complaining to her. They're like, why is your brother a jackass in the school? Say, I'm literally at the bottommost of the school, and she's like, at the whatever top 10 or some nonsense. Say, and she was crying, dude. That was the funniest thing ever. She's literally there in the classroom crying because they're complaining because she's not heard, she's not been through all this nonsense.
Yeah.
So she's breaking down and crying. I'm like, we'll be better. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to change. Keep coming back. But no, but that's a silly thing, dude. It's like they make it sound like it's probably is the teachers, I guess, because there's a lot riding on the school's name, I suppose.
Reputation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if it comes out like exactly like you said, like instead of it's 100 IIT pass outs, it says 50 failed in this stupid school. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
nobody's going to show up the next year to join, I guess. But yeah, what's the like? I didn't buy the pressure like even up to the end because it was so like like I used to like zone out.
yeah.
That's my problem. Because I couldn't like on some level gauge this at all. Like, how am I going to sit there in the class and think 10 years from now and all of that? What I'll imagine myself sitting in an interview like some Colgate ad or something and giving the certificate and going selected.
But like I know the story behind how you repeated your ninth. Like, why don't you share it? Like, what really happened? Like,
Oh yeah, so I kind of flunked, sort of flunked. I mean,
yeah,
I could have scraped through.
yeah,
So my the school called my mom in, and they were like, "Listen, these are your options. If you want your kid to pass through, we'll let him pass, but he can't continue here. We don't want this monkey in our school. That's option one. Or if you insist on him continuing here, we're going to flunk him. Like,
yeah.
he'll have to repeat. My mom was so dedicated to the stupid school. They're like, oh no, it's a great school. I'm like, how is it a great school? They're failing me and giving you this stupid option over here. It's a dope school, my ass. She took the option too, dude. School, growing up in school, like since ninth grade, was the worst because I knew my seniors because they were actually my batch. I knew my batch because I flunked. I'm repeating. I'm with the thing, and I knew my March three batches. I knew, dude. Anywhere I went, three batches of kids from the same school.
Yeah.
Horrible it was. Just the worst. Just the worst. They would literally like the second year. I mean the repeated year. No, they would literally treat me like I was some retarded kid or something in class because I was actually the only one, if I'm not mistaken. I think from whatever that group was, maybe three guys repeated. I think three idiots, obviously, and we were all in different sections or whatever. And in my entire that section, I was the only. Imagine my ass, macha, sitting there. And it's not even like I had a growth spurt or something. Thank God I didn't have a stupid growth spurt. My dad was measuring me like every day, like I was going to shoot up 3 feet suddenly in one summer or something. This guy only is like 5'1". What am I going to become? 7'3".
But you're tall. You're tall.
Taller than him by 3 inches. Anywho, but yeah, coming back to this 12th, it's really is that. I mean, it's like if these kids can just see that much, no? It's like
Yeah.
because I don't know what the hell it counts for, dude. I mean, if it counts for something good,
Yeah.
the
I mean, from like when you're in 12th, you're probably what, 16 to 18, right? Like that's the age group.
oh yeah, no, I was a repeater. I was 20.
But yeah, like at that age you don't know anything. Like
Yeah.
from there in the next 10-15 years you're gonna change so much as a personality. Like, and someone trying to like put you in one thing and say that okay, this is important for your life, That can never be true for anybody, no matter you score good, you score bad, you fail, whatever. Like, because you change with time
I
so
just
much.
remember this one weird story. 12th, they brought in this one CA guy,
Yeah,
because commerce, we're all commerce kids.
yeah,
Commerce motivation.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like regular motivation. It's just speak stuff.
yeah.
He brought in his wife, and she too was a CA.
Yeah.
And all these nerds were like going mental that day, because they're like, yeah, we'll get the marks also, and we can get the girl also. I caught them by the collar. Hey, you know, you're not getting everything in this world. Go get the mark and get out of here, bloody.
In my batch, like, I also remember there was this ex-student of the school who was probably working in Google or something and was called to give this speech. And then he had written his email ID, and all the girls were crushing on him. Like,
Good
girls in
God.
like 12th standard would, like, they would always want to date an older guy, and they would always crush on an older guy. And all of the next day, I go on Orkut or Facebook, I don't remember, whatever, all the girls in my class are friends with that guy. Probably he was flirting with them, or I don't know what.
10th was probably a little more fun for me, because I had part science also. Like, I had to do practical nonsense and all that, which I was literally the worst at. Like, just the worst. Because we had in science, what did we have? Biology,
Yeah.
chemistry,
Chemistry.
physics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in order of sequence, it was biology first. The stupid thing was, like, you're supposed to go and find out what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Like, I just peeled the label off to see what it was, because these cheap buggers at school didn't want to peel the label and again print the label and put the label. So they just put like a piece of paper on top and put rubber band on it. So I just went over and like just peeled it a little bit, peeled it a little bit, peeled like ah. Meanwhile, these nerds are seriously like looking down microscope. What could this possibly be? I'm like telling them, hey, Machans, come on, Dad, let's go. That was the entirety of. That's pretty much all I did for both this
Yeah.
botany and the other nonsense, zoology or whatever. Then comes chemistry. Chemistry was the worst. Chemistry was so bad because I didn't get no equation, nothing. Like, I understood nothing, dude. Like, zero.
Chemistry doesn't have equation. Physics has equation.
Whoever has equations, I still didn't get it. Whichever has equations.
That proves.
It was, I still remember, it was peak noonish, okay? Burning hell back home in Chennai. The girls going first, and there was this girl, I forgot her name. So her name as well starts in J, and she was in the same roll number as me in the boys. Like, I was 22 or something, and she was also 22 or something in the girls. So they would set the salts. You have to check what
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
it,
yeah.
Tata
You
salt
do-
or is it a Himalayan salt? Who knows what this nonsense
Tata
is?
salt or Himalayan salt.
You had to go find that nonsense, right? So she literally came back and she told me, listen, you're 22, right? I got this salt, by the way. I am still going, so I still don't know what's connected to it. You still have to go through the set list, right? What I'll do, literally just knowing the end of the thing, I won't know anything. I still have to, pretend and play
You
for 40
to
minutes.
write the whole
Some,
observation.
yeah, some stunts I have to do for 40 minutes. So I'm thinking, I'm sweating it out. I'm like, it's like the summer also, and I'm like, dude, what am I even going to do here? I have
Yeah.
zero clue what's to be,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's all salts, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
something for each salt you have to figure.
Yeah.
I at least, I at least, I at least wish there was a huge difference where if you get something wrong, like the lab catches fire or something. There's barely any difference. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mistakes they tell you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it'll be like for that salt, it'll be light pink. For this salt, it'll be slightly different light pink.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
that's barely any difference. How I'll know what
The,
the pink
the,
is?
the worst thing is, like, most kids would not get the result of the experiment, but they would
Most kids,
already know.
nobody will. I'm telling you. So I was panicking. I was literally about to cry. So one of the assistants in the exam hall
yeah.
was an old guy who
Lab assistant.
the
yeah.
lab assistant was actually the school's lab assistant. He knows what a jackass I am. So every 10 minutes he would come around the corner. He'll tell me, do these, and then he'll go away. And then he'll come back again, do this, and then he'll go away.
Yeah.
Macha. So like 4 or 5 rounds of this, I'm doing exactly what this old geezer is telling me. Like proper, I'm doing. After four, there's like 2 rounds or something left. After the fourth round, he went on some vada break, like tea and vada break. He went on. Right? I was like, Macha, my future dude over here. I'm waiting for this guy to come around. Where is this guy? I see him at the end, eating and chilling. I said, okay, this is not going to. There was one part of it between the last two, because now I have four, right?
Yeah.
I know these tubes. I'm trying to trace who else has the same set. Because even if they mix up the sequence, no, because these, these nerds, they'll go by the sequence only. It's not like they'll,
Yeah,
jump.
yeah.
They'll pakka. So I'm also trying to like see, fourth bottle is light blue. Light blue, where is I found one guy, okay. Whatever he was trying to do next, I'm literally running to find out what he's throwing in there. I'm throwing, following up. This is the funniest. So the last one, you have to, whatever that mix is, you have to, the solution has to come out clear.
Yeah.
So I just simply filled it with plain water. And the last experiment is, whatever you test out, the reaction is clear. It's big clear.
And there's a basin there.
Yeah, mine is the purest thing. They think this guy must be an expert. I filled in plain water and went there. And then whoever I traced that blue bugger was, that's literally I went and sat next to him. Copy the whole thing.
The whole observation.
Yeah. Done. Whatever goddamn salt it was, I still don't. And then physics. Now physics was even more horrible because, dude, it used to have such weird things. Somewhat prism, find the angle of reflection of the rainbows. I didn't understand.
Not rainbow.
Dude,
so white light refracts into.
I don't know what it does. I didn't get any of it. They gave me that. Okay.
Then there was tuning fork.
Listen, so they gave me this prism thing.
Yeah.
Which just hearing about it, starts, making me fall to the ground and like crawl up. So I literally went to the examiner and I literally begged him, Macha, please just let me do the, what is that melting point of wax nonsense.
Yeah.
That was literally the worst, because all you had to do was, if I'm not mistaken, just take temperature of when it drops from when it's, heated up or some nonsense like that. This is the best part. We only had one apparatus. So there's already 4 guys over there. Before this guy could answer, I took my sheet, marked myself as, melting point. Say, I wrote for myself and ran in and just stood between the 4. Say, that's all, let's go, melting point. That's really how I scraped the practicals.
Yeah.
It's insane because I don't know. Anybody get these practical things? It's not even fun. It's not. They should, instead of practical, what they should do. This Pogo had one series called Mad. You know that guy?
Yeah.
What's his name? Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
He's on YouTube now.
Oh, great. Everybody's on it now, including us, I guess. They should make him the practical. Because this guy, he'll keep saying in his intro, I don't know why I'm going on this one, but he'll keep saying in the intro, this will be like a simple, I'll teach you how to make this bullfrog toy or whatever. It'll be a simple bullfrog toy.
Yeah.
And then he'll say, get a charcoal eraser. This is me in 6th grade. I don't even have the money to get a normal eraser. First of all. I've still not even progressed to like an ink eraser.
Yeah.
There was an ink.
Yeah.
Which used to erase your sheet only entirely. What was it, ink eraser?
That ink eraser used to just scrape the paper
out.
out.
That's what I'm saying. That's just tear the sheet off. That's what it used to erase, the whole page. This bugger, at the end, he will make like one stupid little thing that you only have to like move around. Like it's not even, it moves on its own or something.
Yeah.
But the kind of things he'll go ask you to procure and come, no? It'll be like made in Japan or something. I'm like, hey, Macha, you made me spend $800. He even started selling it as a unit, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember? Like, if you want to make this frog, you could buy the entire kit right over here. I'm like, the kit will be this big for $3,000. I'm like, for this? Get out of my face.
And the rich kids in your school would actually have it, maybe. Or, I mean, I had
Dude, there were like 3 rich kids in my school. That was it.
Yeah, no, mine too. But then I had some like rich kids whose parents or like, would visit Thailand, and whose parents would travel in those times to foreign country and would bring these art thingy and all. You've seen those?
I met one guy like that who
Yeah.
had a like a, I think, an artsy dad who was like, I, if I'm not mistaken, like he had a two, what do you call that, two nationality thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like a
Two citizenship.
yeah, two citizenship. I think they visit US and all that. He used
Okay.
to have like a kick-ass collection. I used to
Nice.
like try and befriend him, but yeah. How much we have? We have something.
Yeah, we have a lot. I think that's it. So kids, don't be stressed out about your 12th standard board exams.
Yeah, like they're going to be watching this through
Yeah.
this one.
You have two successful people sitting here
Yeah, let's
on
not
YouTube.
add success and all.
Yeah,
We have money
yeah,
for now.
yeah. For today, for cigarette and booze.
Booze and sex.
Yeah. This is Pointless Podcast. You watch it or you don't watch it. We don't really care.
I mean, somebody watch it.